Go to combat, start flipping coins. I would prefer to not one-shot someone out of the game here. It's still pretty early. But that's just kind of what this deck does. Oh god, I think we want to flip. We want to flip. Yeah, that makes it lethal.
Today on Commander Replay, call it in the air as we check out this coin flipping deck with Okaun and Zndrsplt. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's 2 great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below.
Welcome back everyone. Playing some Okaun and Zndrsplt today. Today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Jared, and this deck is called Coin Flipping Madness for the very obvious reasons that we'll be flipping coins. You know, this isn't the worst opening hand that I've seen with this deck. I tried this deck twice yesterday, and things went terribly in both games. And one of them I mulliganed to 4, because that's what it took to find more than one land. This is better than the mull to 4. Does it get better than this? I'm curious to see where this hand goes. I might regret this in the long run, but I'm gonna keep this. Don't do this at home. This is me looking to F around and find out. The real question is, how many more lands do we draw off the top before we draw non-lands? That's what's going through my mind right now. I'm guessing like probably at least 4 more lands. The good news is though, if we ever get to Zndrsplt in a reasonable fashion, Zndrsplt can draw so many cards that we can get out of this mess very easily. Whenever this thing stays in play for a couple turns, your hand is just like perpetually full. How about that? We draw a ponder. Haha, nice. Yeah, let's go fetch, crack fetch. We'll get steam vents untapped. I guess we'll go straight to the ponder. Ha, those are some cards. What's this one do? Sacrifice an artifact, search for an artifact? Okay, that's not terrible. Planar Chaos I don't really want. This thing's okay. I think we can keep this in the sense that we have a lot of fetch lands, and we can kind of shuffle away some of that stuff. I kind of want the Minotaur because the Minotaur is more coin flips, and that is good for what we're trying to do. Looks like we got a Signet from 15 Squirrels. Brings back to our turn, there's that Planar Chaos. Funny card. I always want to use this against like high power combo decks, except it's really unreliable. I was using it in Winota for a little bit, and I watched someone proceed to cast many spells that I did not want them to cast through the Planar Chaos. I think I'm going to go... no. This one only gets islands, we need double red, so... we'll get the Ancient Tomb right here. Oh, we could go for this thing. We'll wait. We'll wait a little bit on that. This is more of like once we get something big into play, probably our commanders. This deck is just hinged completely around the commanders being in play. Then this is kind of how you like lock the board out a little bit and make it difficult for people to interact. We've got an Urza's Power Plant over there, one of the new ones, art-wise. Haven't seen this one. Very interesting. So anyway, let's take a read of our commanders. First up is Okaun, Eye of Chaos, 5 mana, 3/3, partners with Zndrsplt. At the beginning of combat on your turn, flip a coin until you lose a flip. Whenever a player wins a coin flip, double its power and toughness until end of turn. It gets giant quickly. In fact, this card can reach the maximum possible limit for power and toughness on Magic Online. I forget what that number is, but someone tells me that it's an integer related to like a database field size or something like that, which I guess makes sense. So, yeah, that's a thing that can happen with Okaun. Our other commander is Zndrsplt, Eye of Wisdom, 5 mana, 1/4, partners with Okaun. At the beginning of your combat, flip a coin until you lose a flip. Whenever a player wins a coin flip, draw a card. Yeah, this thing just keeps your hand full for basically all game as long as it's in play. Silas Wren coming in. How about that? After opponent's got 2 signets over there now. So potentially doing some sort of artifacty thing with Silas and Ishai. Ooh. Ishai gets big too. There's that reshape. Yeah, maybe we could have shuffled that away. Play the Volcanic Island. Play the Karpluzan Minotaur. Let's take a look at what everyone else is playing. First up, we got Sean playing Liberator, Urza's Battlethopter. It's a 3 mana 1/2 with flash and flying. You may cast colorless spells and artifacts as though they had flash. Whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast it was greater than Liberator's power, put a +1/+1 counter on Liberator. Very interesting. I've been seeing this one a little bit. I still don't know what to make of it yet. It did look like he missed the land drop, though. Ugh. Darksteel Forge in the opener? Gross. Opponent's not doing so good with their lands here. Maybe keeping 7 lands was the right idea. Dawn of Hope for opponent. Yeah, that's a good one. They have enough to get their commander in right here, too, which I probably would. No attacks. I would have poked. There's not much out there. We have this thing, but that's about it. Phyrexian Arena is also a solid card. Brings it back to our turn. We get to flip a coin. Flip a coin. Choosing heads. We get to do 1 damage to any target. I guess we go to Squirrel's face, because nothing else really worth shooting at the moment. Did we win that one or lose that one? Oh, we lost that one. Okay. That's confusing how that works. There's a Force of Negation. That is helpful to have around. Let's play this island. Let's cast... I'm going to go Zndrsplt first. Kind of want the card draw since we're just chock full of lands. We get a partner trigger. No need. So we go to combat. We flip a coin until we lose a flip. Go heads. Looks like we won some flips. We can do 1 damage to any target. We'll do that one to 15. And we'll let Sean choose this one of where they want to shoot it. Oh, wow. He just Warping Wailed Zndrsplt. That's unfortunate. I would have Force of Negated that. I don't remember passing through my priority on everything. That's annoying. Well, we attack Sean now. At least we go back up to 7 cards in hand. There's a Thought Vessel, which will get us back to our commanders quicker. He lays down a Kokoro, which he probably has to activate. No, it goes for a Palladium Mirror. Okay. So he's getting back into it mana-wise a little bit. So having played this deck for the 3rd time now, I have gotten a little bit of a feel with the deck. One thing I noticed yesterday is that it is really light on creature removal. There's a Blasphemous Act and a Chandra's Ignition, and I did not see much else to deal with creatures in this deck. A little bit of counter magic, got a Narset's Reversal, Mana Drain. I guess Cyclonic Rift kind of handles a little bit of everything. Yeah, it's a more counterspell heavy deck, but even then, it's not like it has a million counterspells in it, so I did find it to be a little lacking. Someone at a board state that was just like full of creatures on turn 5, and I'm like, we can't do anything about that. So I would definitely up the creature removal a little bit. Oop, that's a Smothering Tithe. You know, probably should have countered that, honestly. Yeah, probably should have countered that. Oh well. I was thinking this is the free one with the commander. This is not the free one with the commander. This is the... We should have discarded this one. Oops. Demolition Field targeting the Plaza of Heroes. Okay. So Demolition Field is the more limited... What's that other one? I can't remember the name of it because I never run it. Not awful, though. I've come around on it a little bit. I wasn't a fan of it at first. That one. You know the one I'm talking about. Actually, funny story. So, like, over the last year or so, when they really got going with all the sets, like, you know, when there's a set, like, every 3 weeks now, I used to be really good at remembering card names, and now I basically can't. Like, there's just so many cards that, like, the names are all just mushed together, and recalling the name of anything, like, I can recall the abilities and, like, what they do and all that stuff, but a lot of times thinking of the names off the top of my head is pretty bad. Flip 2 coins. Yes. Go heads. Looks like we won 1, lost 1. So we'll point 1 at Jenka, and we'll give Squirrels the option of where they want to put the other one. This thing is actually a pretty interesting card. That's a Force of Will. That's a pretty good one, too. You know, if I knew that was coming, I really would have countered the Smothering Tithe. Well, it should make it an interesting game, because opponents were like... Squirrels doing okay, but like Sean and Jenka were pretty far behind. The Smothering Tithe gives Jenka at least a chance to do something. Play the Inventor's Fair, get Thought Vessel, cast Okaun, get the partner again, choosing no. Go Tails this time. We lost the flip. We'll poke Jenka with this thing. We should take a look at what our opponents are playing. Maybe we already started doing that. We looked at Sean's commander. In the middle, we've got Jenka piloting Otharri, Sun's Glory. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Otharri is really cool. 5 mana, 3/3, flying lifelink haste. When it attacks, you get an experience counter, then make a 2/2 red rebel creature that's tapped and attacking for each experience counter you have. Pay 4, tap an untapped rebel, return Otharri from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Yep. Really cool commander, one that I played it a few times on the channel already. I've got more things I want to do with it. I got to put my paper build of it together. I haven't done that yet. Just a cool card. And one that can easily beat you in the late game. Like, this deck having mana is not a thing you want this deck to have, because as long as they can keep recasting Otharri, they're just going to keep gaining value and eventually overwhelm you. It's kind of a problem. Sean gets a Joyra's Familiar. Here comes Otharri. Interestingly, leaving 2 lands, getting rid of treasures. Unless they have a plan, I'd probably go the other way on that. Leave the treasures. Yep, coming in our way. They get a counter and make a 2/2. We can't block. Sends the 2/2 over to Sean. And our final opponent, by the way, is a new Patreon, 15 Squirrels. Piloting Ishai, Ojitai, Dragon Speaker, and Silas Wren, Seeker Adept. This is my first time playing with them, so I don't really know what they're up to. Silas usually suggests some sort of artifact deck. Ishai just gets really big and bops you over the head and probably one-shots you. Kind of a headache whenever it's in play because of that. So I don't know. We'll see what they're up to. It's Esper, combo and control. Certainly things that could happen. They draw with the Phyrexian Arena. Triggers the Smothering Tithe. Joyr's familiar. 2 of them in play. Ishai into play, yep. About time to get that flying blocking going. With Otharri running around. Back to our turn, we flip a coin. Actually, we flip 3 coins. Flip 3 coins. Let's go tails. Oh, we won some coin flips. So I think we start by shooting the Ishai. I think then we start working on Otharri. Okaun is going to get bigger. If people don't have blockers... Jenka doesn't have a blocker. Man, if they have a removal spell, would I counter it? Because this is already a 12/12. We would need to lose both flips. Because I'm planning to just recast Zndrsplt. Ishai goes down. We get a land, which we did not need. Play the land. Cast Zndrsplt. Partner trigger. Go to combat. Start flipping coins. I would prefer to not one-shot someone out of the game here. It's still pretty early. But that's just kind of what this deck does. Oh god, I think we want to flip. We want to flip. Yeah, that makes it lethal. Looks like we're going to fall short on this Otharri a bit. Draw a land, triggers a Smothering Tithe. Although we haven't flipped for Zndrsplt yet. Otharri goes down. Nice. We choose heads. We lost the flip. Send this thing in the Jenka, see what they've got. If they have removal, I'll probably let the removal go through. I feel kind of bad. They do not have any removal, so they go down. I really thought they were going to have something, because, you kind of just got to leave a blocker against Okaun. I guess Jenka is a bit newer to the game, probably having maybe not seen the deck as much. Yeah, it's just kind of you need blockers, and then even beyond that, you got to pray they don't get evasion of any kind. It's actually, a pretty nasty deck. Not like CEDH, really, but, it's very good in a high power setting because you just don't need other cards in play. You have card draw and lethal basically as long as you can keep these in play. And we've got a handful of counter magic right now. What do our opponents do, right? They need to get through our flurry of counter spells before. And we're probably going to play this planar chaos, making things even more terrible for them. Although we do need some sort of evasion. Liberator comes into play. Fractured Identity, you say? I'm thinking not on the Fractured Identity. Let's go for the Force of Will. We'll exile the Reshape. I figure Force of Negation is much easier to hardcast. Counters the Fractured Identity. Silly card, though. And they make a 1/1. We're set up very, very well. The only thing we're missing is evasion right now. You know what I've been thinking about? I've been thinking about there needs to be a legendary red land that just gives a creature trample. I know there's Skarg the Rage Pits, but that one's Gruul. Feels like that should be a land that exists. Upkeep. Flip 4 coins. Yes. Let's go heads. Oh yeah, we won a couple. Looks like we won 2. So I think let's get rid of the Death Toucher. That seems like a good idea. Jenka did say they had a board wipe and they chose to cast their commander instead. The question is, I'd have to see the tape of if we had counter magic up at that point, but they probably should have went with the board wipe just because you got to keep these 2 out of play. And everyone else is pretty slow to get going here, so that's the thing that would buy everyone else time. Here's a Heuristic Study, a mana drain. Oh my. I think opponents are just going to send these back at our face. Yeah. Silas down. Tribute Mage. I bet that finds something cool. Let's find out. Let's play the Polluted Delta. Crack the Polluted Delta. Mystic Sanctuary is pretty nasty. I forgot that's in here. Probably should have held that. Whoops. Get an island. Play the Tribute Mage. See if there's some sort of Luxodon Warhammer or something we can get with it. Use the ability. What can we get? We can get Signet, Krark's Thumb. Ooh, yeah. It's probably Krark's Thumb, although we really need Trample. Krark's Thumb is objectively the best choice, though. So then we cast a Krark's Thumb. This is where you start to worry about Magic Online breaking. And then we cast this Planar Chaos so that no one can cast stuff. and life will be terrible for all of them. Sean's going to flash in a Metal Worker. Yeah, that's a pretty good card. That can get you going, although he's a little late, right? Like, he missed that land, and he missed a couple lands. He's missed, what, 4 lands? Yeah, you don't want to miss 4 lands. Just don't ever miss 4 lands. I get when you're colorless, like, it's just harder to control that stuff. There's Luxoria Giada's Gift. Interesting. Dropping in everything with Flash here. Yeah, we really don't have, like, a lot in the way of protection, which is sort of a thing. Like, if someone just finds lethal somewhere, I don't know what kind of tricks he's up to with this. It is a little concerning. Also, we're just, like, down to 21. Burning through our life pretty quickly with the Ancient Tomb and Fetches, and this thing going off a million times. We'll choose heads. We lose 1 flip. We'll choose tails. We lost that flip also. Actually lost... Wait, aren't we supposed to get a choice? You would flip a coin, flip 2 coins, and ignore 1. Did that work right? I don't feel like that worked right. Is this busted? I guess we just attack into squirrels. They can just block, but I don't know what else we're supposed to do. Yeah, because this thing should have triggered like a million... No, you have to win the coin flips, but... Yeah, I don't think Crux Thumb triggered. Opponents have a Planar Chaos to deal with now, and this thing is silly. Anything you cast is just rolling the dice that you're going to be able to get it through. There's 8 colorless mana. See if they're feeling lucky through the Planar Chaos. Ugin the Spirit Dragon. See if Planar Chaos gets it. I think they won the coin flip. We should probably exile that Ugin, right? Or counter that Ugin, rather. Teleria West. Wow, it didn't get countered. That's okay, we brought a Force of Negation. I think we'll be okay without the Rhystic Study. Oh, we have to get through our own. Choose heads or tails for the 2 coin flips. Let's choose heads. Lost a flip. Oh, no. Oh, we just got by our own Planar Chaos. With Crux Thumb in play. You kidding me? That is not ideal. Alright, well, this Ugin's gonna rough us up pretty good. I think we probably just die on tempo. Like, if he just kind of pokes us with all this stuff, and the fact we've been using Ancient Tomb all the time. I'm actually concerned now. Yep, there's the old exile. All the stuff getting exiled. Back to the command zone. Yeah, that's probably the game for us, but at least we got a fun look at the deck. It's going to get pretty tough from here. And this is where I talked about with the board wipes, like there's just not enough creature removal. If we could wipe the board back, you know, we'd have some time to kind of climb back into it, although this kills Okaun, which is not great just by pinging it. Squirrels really didn't lose all that much. Lost the Arena and a Dawn of Hope. All things considered, that's not too bad. There's a Nettle Cyst. Yeah, they got a 7/7 germ. Equip the thing. Everyone made a big deal when this came out. I really haven't seen it very much. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each counter on it. Equipped permanent isn't a planeswalker and is a creature in addition to its other types. Okay, so you can equip... All right, you can turn a planeswalker into a creature. So it kind of doubles up the power a little bit with Liberator. It's not awful. I'm working on a Boros +1/+1 counter deck. This probably actually should go in it. Down to 11. Yeah, we can just get poked to death now. If we don't rip like Blasphemous Act off the top or Cyclonic Rift, that's probably what we're looking at. I've had Planar Chaos backfire probably more times than it's actually worked, which is really disappointing. You look at it, you're like, oh, it's going to counter all the stuff I needed to counter. Nope. Here's an Archive for opponent. Let's see what opponent's got. They should be a little scared also, right? This is a lot of good stuff. There's more than anyone else has by like a long shot. Ishai back to play. That is an okay play. Ideally, would have seen something a little stronger. Though I imagine it's going to be a whole lot better than what we've got going, unless we rip something amazing off the top. We can find something for 0. I think Mana Crypt's probably... I cut Mana Crypt because we don't run Mana Crypt on the channel anymore. Yeah, actually I don't know that finds anything. Oh, they're going to poke down the Ugin. Okay. That is very helpful. So, because now we're talking about having to only deal with creatures as opposed to having to deal with creatures and that Ugin. So, that's not terrible. And getting Ugin out of play is absolutely the right idea because it can just continue to dominate a game if you don't. Mana Vault is fine. I mean, cast a Mana Vault. Ishai will trigger. That 7/7 can be a problem. Cast Okaun. We probably need Zndrsplt. I'm going to go for Zndrsplt. I don't know that it really makes a huge difference. We've got mana drain. Maybe we get lucky and like 1, they don't kill us. 2, we mana drain something big. And 3, we survive back to our turn. That is a lot to ask, though. Now I guess we just play this thing. Heads or tails? Go heads. Go tails. We got nothing? Disappointing. Thran Dynamo. So the problem that Sean's going to run into is that you have to deal with this Ishai, because very soon it will be bigger than everything else in play. Eternity Vessel, huh? Eternity Vessel is a halfway decent mana drain target. Although, yeah, let's mana drain it. Because, I mean, I think he sends both our way. We have to block. So we're going to want all that mana next turn. Mirror Battlesphere? Oh, that's 1 for 7. Could have got more. Wouldn't be upset if Squirrels played a board wipe, though. That's a bunch of mirror. I sent in the big one over to Squirrels. We're going to take... We're getting hit for 7, which put us to 2, which means we can't use Ancient Tomb and, like, should probably untap the Mana Vault. They can still kill us with this thing, though. Actually, they have 2 flyers. Oh, they can just kill us with the Familiar if they want. They have to think about blockers, though, lest they find something really good. Down to 2. Sphinx's Rev, X5. I'm jealous. We could use some life gain. Mind Stone. Circuit Mender. Enters battlefield. Gain 2 life. Leaves the battlefield. Draw a card. I think we're looking at about a 3 in 74 chance. Although, we might be able to draw multiple cards this turn. Still, we're looking at, like, not great odds, but... Opponent goes no attacks. Yeah, having to leave up defense. Didn't catch the board wipe I'm sure that they were looking for. Can we find the board wipe? Oh, we gain a life with Inventor's Fair. That being the case, I don't... am I going to pay for the Mana Vault? I think I'm going to leave the Mana Vault where it is. That being the case. Oh, actually, you know what? We're going to get all that mana from... yeah, we're going to get all the mana from the thingy. So this is probably the turn to do it. And hey, you never know. If we can wipe the board right here, you know, just gaining a couple points back. Ugh, Scalding Tarn is not the answer we were looking for. There's all the mana. You know what we could do? We could Command Beacon. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Let's Command Beacon, crack Command Beacon. Put Okaun back to hand. Get Okaun for a single red. Actually, we probably didn't need to burn... Oh, yeah, we totally didn't need to burn the... Yeah, we didn't need to burn that Command Beacon at all. But I was thinking about, like, leaving up maximum mana. Just out of curiosity, what can we get? We need Haste and Evasion, which is tougher. Feast and Famine doesn't help. Commander's Plate doesn't help. Shadow Spear... Ooh, maybe... We probably should have went Okaun last turn. Oh, Embercleave? Embercleave's a card. Yeah, I think that puts us back onto Pray We Draw stuff. Go heads. We draw a card, okay. Another land, gross. Drawing about 15 lands. Go tails this time. Let's choose heads this time. Wow. Can't believe that. I really don't think this thumb's working the right way, because it only asked one time if we wanted to ignore the coins. Should have mulliganed the opener. Too many lands. Though, how'd we do on draw? I mean, we outdrew our opponents. But, you know, these, like, last 3 right here, if these were something that mattered, maybe. Also, would have given ourselves a chance if we had gone for Okaun last turn, because then, well, this turn, I guess maybe not, because we didn't win the flips, but in theory, we could have gone Inventor's Fair and put Shadow Spear on Okaun. I think he can just kill us with direct damage, right? Oh, it's attacking. Yeah, he's got us with the big thing. I'm just going to scoop there so we don't have to click through combat. Those Squirrels have enough to block all this? They block the big one. They block the Battlesphere. The Battlesphere is going to go down. They're going to trade, actually. Unless they can cast a spell. If they have the board wipe, that's fine. If they don't, it's still just an uphill battle. Getting the Battlesphere out of play is definitely good, though. Yeah, they really just got to have the board wipe. Mirror Retriever. So here's the thing. All of Sean's mana is Thran Dynamo and Metalworker, and he's down to 0 cards in hand now. So he actually doesn't have... If you wipe the board, Sean's going to be hurting a lot. Going to return Darksteel Forge to their hand. Can he cast that? So that's 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm seeing 8 mana. Also returning the Moonsilver Key. Oh, if they have 2 cards in hand, then no, Metalworker's tapped. That's actually a good play because the thing Sean has to worry about is the board wipe, so trying to get to Darksteel Forge is Definitely where he needs to be. I think he's one short, though. Yep, Moonsilver Key. Forsaken Monument, which I'm sure is what he picked up with the key. Yep. Did they find the board wipe? They've got a couple chances to dig. Got a Hedron Archive and a Mind Stone. Feel like that never pans out for me when I try it, but... Show me a Farewell. Trying to get their mana right. Looks like they're tapping out for something big. I don't... Expel? Expel would be very interesting. Okay, it's going to be multiple spells. This is Liliana Dreadhorde General. Not the most helpful right here. Still got 8 mana left. Martial Coup X6. That's a play. They draw 2 cards. It is going to be a terrible battle for Sean now. Squirrels has a clock on them. They've got this Planeswalker that's probably going to go unanswered. Got 7 cards in hand versus 1. And just way better mana production. They had it. Martial Coup. I've been beaten by this card a lot. Like, it's... I think people tend to forget about it a little bit. It's probably a little less underrun than it could be. Like, I know I don't have that many of them for how many Boros decks I have, and you just kind of forget that, like, it's just good. Late in a game like this, you're like, oh, I need to completely swing the direction of this game? Cool. Martial Coup. All your stuff's gone, and I have a decent number of creatures on board. Battlethopter back to play. They gain 2 life. He can just smother Sean with the sacrifice 2 creatures effect. Which actually means, like, he should have... Yeah, that's got Flash, which means he should not be casting that at sorcery speed. Engineered Explosives does things. Cast for 0, so they can blow up all the tokens. Still, I'd be holding... yeah, he should really be waiting on this stuff. He shouldn't be doing anything at sorcery speed. Blows up the Engineered Explosives. Gets all the tokens. Ooh, yeah. Opponent draws... What's that? 6 more cards? Yeah, that's the problem. Is like, even if you deal with the creatures, you got Dreadhorde General right there. That is a very good Planeswalker. Puts the thing on Liberator. I mean, there's a world in which, like... Yeah, Sean should have waited on everything he did during that turn because... So, you know, if you wait till after they can use this, you can theoretically get this into play, get the sword on it all at the end step. Yeah, they're just going to make him sacrifice it. And then opponent's at 13. So, you know, with that, that's probably enough that you can, like, at least get this out of play. And if you get that out of play, then they lose the constant removal card draw. Yeah, so Sean didn't play that quite right. That's a Phage the Untouchable. Nice. That should speed this game up. They had a Fractured Identity earlier. So apparently it is a Fractured Identity Phage deck. Savine's Reclamation getting back Circuit Mender. Nice. I think we're going to see a Phage kill. Opponent's going to discard the hand size. Unwinding Clock. Well, that's not going to be good enough. And their last card's Darksteel Forge. Yeah, he's boned. You got to remember that this thing has Flash. Because I've seen him play it like this too in other games where he plays at a sorcery speed. And then, then you get caught up in stuff like this. He could at least buy himself time. And time, tempo, like everything, right? Because he's also not losing his commander. Because theoretically he could have bopped this down, at least gotten it below the -4, I think. With the sword. Definitely with this thing. Cracks a bubble. Sends both. Show me the Phage kill. Oh, he can make a stupid goat, can he? Flashback his commander. Okay. I think he can also make a goats at instant speed. Got a counterspell? That is a counterspell. Defabricate. Counter target artifact or enchantment. Exile it instead of the graveyard. They're going to make a goat. Oh, that makes me sad. This game's going to drag on. Ugh. Nope. Has a commit for the goat. Nice. So, working hard to make sure this Phage gets through. Nice. So, Sean goes down to 15 squirrels. 15 squirrels winning their first game with me on the channel here. How about that? And we got to see a Phage kill. So, as far as this deck... Yeah, I've played this deck. This is now the 3rd game with it. This one was at least reasonable. We can show this one. It was entertaining in a lot of ways. Yeah, the creature removal's definitely lacking. The other thing I was thinking about, too, if you have Shadow Spear, you probably want Luxodon Warhammer. And if you want Luxodon Warhammer, the other thing I think you want, too, is probably, like, Haunted Cloak. The one that gives Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. You want the one that gives those 3. You don't really need the First Strike that much. I forget which one does what. I forget which one does first strike and which one does the haste or whatever. But yeah. So, whatever equipments give it trample and haste, you're gonna probably want one or two of those. And maybe slightly more evasion in the deck. Got like one piece there. Yeah, overall, I felt like the evasion was a little bit lacking. Also, one card's not terrible. Fleet Feather Sandals for when you have to recast. Though I do think that Crux Thumb wasn't quite working the right way. So there was also that, which kind of changed things. But really, we kind of died to our own planar chaos, which is unfortunate. Like I've said, I've had this thing backfire a lot. I don't know if opponents know something that I don't know, but whenever they cast it, they seem to get it through. And whenever I cast into it, it doesn't seem to work out. So I don't know. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.
I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you want to get some good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon at the link below.